Hello, welcome back to the Minecraft Immersive Engineering World Update video type thing, series type thing, series thing type series type thing that I'm doing. It's been absolutely ages since I was in here. I went mad doing a load of stuff, most of which was one stuff, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I have made changes. It's been a while since I've been in the world, but I got the hankering to just muck around with it a little bit, so I decided to do the update video now. Luckily, I have made a list, and I am checking it twice, of things that I have done since the last update video. So the first thing I've written is I've redone the overflow protection on the coke ovens and the crusher. So I'll be honest, I can't remember what it was before, but I can remember that I basically had a situation where there was only one, it was only the coke ovens that were in charge of sort of overflow protection, which means that there was a potential for overflow. So now there is overflow protection at each stage. So first of all, we have these hoppers here on the coke ovens. Their threshold is at 12 and they send black. Black goes there. And that's it. So the black, so when the hoppers are almost full, it basically applies a redstone signal here. Now you might think, what does that do? And the answer is, it stops this factory hopper from outputting. So this is essentially not inverted, so when it receives a redstone signal, it stops outputting, and redstone can travel through blocks like that into the block beyond it. So that means that when the hoppers are almost full, this stops outputting, which means that it gradually fills up, which means that that gradually fills up, and then when that gets to half full, it outputs a brown signal, and the brown signal outputs to here, which stops the crusher from doing anything else, and it also then comes back out here to the coal silo to stop that outputting. Likewise, if somehow, I don't think this should happen, but if somehow this crusher fills up, like you can have like 30,000 in its queue, if that somehow fills up, then this will also do the same thing. It will stop it outputting from the silo. So that's what I've done there. I did remember in the end, and that's good, isn't it? And I think we've seen this already, but the thingy to output 8 so it splits properly, blah 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 blah. The other thing I've done is from here, this crusher outputs straight into a batcher that waits for 24 coke dust. Then that comes along. That is just goes into a crate and then extracts them one by one. And then those one by one outputs then come to this splitter, which then goes to 2 separate item batchers that then wait for 12. Because what was happening was I was getting them one by one, and I was getting like 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 12. So they weren't quite in sync. This way, all 12 will drop in at once, all 12 will happen at once. It reduces the wear and tear on the electrodes, jobs are good and fannies around. I made a note here. What I should really have is, I should have, obviously by the excavators, I have a silo for iron and a silo for coal. I should really have a separate minecart track for each, outputting it, instead of having, one that combines both of them. I think it just adds an extra layer of complexity, which was completely unnecessary, but hey, that's what immersive engineering is all about, so I'm keeping it. So that's that. What else have I done? Let's look back at my list. Yes, the Nether. Nebuchadnezzar. I'm gonna just hop over to home base. There we are. I've also got rid of this bloody tree trunk thing. It was doing my head in. Have I mentioned the lightning rod? It's not very high or big. It has been used a couple of times. I've noticed the capacitors are filled up once or twice. I don't know if I have mentioned this or not. Basically, what happens is if this fills up, it'll output into those capacitors on the top there, and then the redstone controls there and the redstone breaker basically mean that when there's anything, so the top capacitor just outputs into the next one, that outputs into the next one, that outputs into the bottom one, which outputs down into the arc furnaces. When there's anything in the bottom one, that redstone breaker is activated, and that comes from the main output from the diesel generators. So what that means is if there's anything in these 4 doodads, the arc furnaces will only use that 16 million from the lightning strike, and it will use that until it's finished, and then when it finishes, the redstone signal will stop, this will reopen, and then it will start getting it from the diesel generators again. So that's just a little way to utilize the world of lightning. But if you come with me this way, past the temporary objects and so on and so forth, you will see that I have here in my Nether portal, if I exit the correct side of the portal, you will see that over here I have been setting up an excavator and 2 little babby chunk loaders to keep it running. Why are you running? In fact, I think it has finished, so that's something I can start looking at next, is moving this to do one of the other veins that can be exploited. But this was on an ancient debris vein. So as you can see here, I've literally just put a generator next to it, and I've used the ender tank from ender storage, which is a mod I had installed anyway before I had conveyors and everywhere. When you know, materials are at a premium, I basically just had an ender chest on each excavator going into my sorting system. But you also has the fluid thing, so that basically takes the biodiesel from the main biodiesel tanks, outputs into this generator. That powers the excavator. The excavator outputs into this ender chest, and if we return home, you will see, I go through a little gap I've made here, that ender chest outputs straight into the sorting system. And what we've been having is ancient scraps and whatever coming in here, and we've made a lot of them. We've got 5,000 in there, so that's been built up as I've been doing my other work, which we'll see in a moment. And that has also led to me having a lot of netherite in there. That's pretty good, eh? Yes, is the answer to that. So that's basically just enabling me to upgrade all my tools. Oh, I also installed another mod. I forget what it's called, but I installed it. Sophisticated backpacks. That's quite handy. I can just open that up. It's a lot easier than using the toolbox. It's a bit overpowered, but at some... See, I don't mind these overpowered mods, but I feel like you've got to work for it. So like I did all of this without the overpowered mods. So I feel like now I'm just like, okay, now I'm doing loads of building. I need to make things more convenient. So that's my justification. You can have all these like things. So this picks up items that are nearby. I switched it off though because I was picking things up from the conveyors, which was no good. This compacts things. So if I ever go mega mining, it just goes. Everything gets compacted, it's lovely, saves space. Tool swapper upgrade doesn't seem to work with the IE tools, but it's a nice idea. And the crafting upgrade means that I can craft here if I want to. So I can't see it. You definitely can. I don't know why it's like not an option. There it is. Am I just being stupid? But yeah, there we are. You can craft. That just saves a bit of time and effort and whatever, all the rest of it. Yeah, you can see the, I've put another chunk loader there just to try and keep the whole base loaded, because what I found was the excavator kept stopping and starting as different bits loaded and unloaded. So I've just tried to keep it all loaded again. This is also a bit dodgy. It seems like every now and then you have to like reset it to make it work again, but that's kind of like the diesel over here, isn't it? Like it's done it again. It's like it's just not filling up. I've said this before, there's just... Is it going up? I'm not sure. There's just so much shit nearby here in this area that I think it genuinely just sometimes panics when it tries to load it all. It's still not going up. Oh, I'll investigate that later. Shit happens. From the main Pretty Pipes system, I've added a secondary one, an outlay. What would you call it? An outlet, an inlet, output, input. Shake it all of output, which comes along here and further along here and then down through the ground. Thanks. Then out, down, and into another crafting terminal, just because sometimes I spend a lot of time over here dealing with stuff and it's a lot easier to be able to get things straight from here. So there we are. Something I might do at some point whilst I'm working on the other main project is possibly put another crafting terminal just sort of up on top here. Why would I want one up on top there, I hear you ask? Well, it's because I've been working on, let's go into creative. I've been working on this, and I should point out all of this is done in survival. I go like I teleport around just for convenience's sake because I can't be bothered wasting time walking everywhere. And obviously I do it to show it off, but this is how this is going. Quite like it. I've had a lot of iterations, tear down, rebuilt again, tear down, rebuilt, rebuilt, tear down. And at some point I'm going to have to expand this like sort of factory area out a bit further, but that pump's in the way at the minute. But yeah, here we are. It's ended up. I ended up taking a lot of inspiration from St. Paul's Cathedral in terms of the look of it, but obviously I've kind of given it my own style as well. It doesn't really look like St. Paul's Cathedral, but there's been some inspiration. I think I might want these front bits to stick out a bit more, because maybe they should match the top, but that's something to think about another time. But yeah, you can see I've kind of kept the same design principles of the lead and the steel base and then the steel sheet metal struts. And then the idea is these windows will be that orange glass from McCall's Windows that makes it look a bit like Splinter's manufacturing from Oddworld. And then on top of here, I'm not sure exactly whether I'm going to put another layer on, like another ring of stuff. I think I need another ring of stuff and some windows. I did know what I was going to do when I was doing this, but then I ended up kind of, you know what happens sometimes with Minecraft, you just kind of lose your oomph and stop doing it when you didn't intend to. So I don't remember what I was going to do, but never mind, looking at it with fresh eyes might help at some point. Maybe not today, but at some point. Yeah, there's going to be a nickel dome on the top. That's where I ended up looking at St. Paul's Cathedral, because I was like, hang on a minute, that's St. Paul's Cathedral I'm thinking of. But yeah, inside it's like this. We need to think about whether I want, obviously I haven't joined it up there yet, any supports or struts or anything across there, I'm not 100% sure yet. Yeah, it's pretty normal in here. Inside I've symmetrified it a little bit. It's not quite symmetrical as such, but then once you go up there it gets symmetrical. So this bit was already in place, of course, so I basically just replicated on that side just to tie it all in, make it all look a bit normal. It's not the word I was looking for, but it's the word I've said. And then yeah, I quite like how this has worked here with the kind of like struts, like half blocks coming out. I did have steel around here, which is ideally what I'd want, but then when you come downstairs you can just see the line here. So if I do have that, I need to think of another way to do it, possibly put another like layer of stuff underneath it or something, but I don't know, it's not that important. So that's what's been going on, and that's it. So next up I need to set up a new Nether Excavator, it looks like. And also I have found a location for oil. There is oil there, and there was water right nearby it. Oh no, here we are. Wrong one. Oil rig. Hang on. It were, hang on. Oil rig, water. There we are. There's a water source there, there's an oil source there, and there's another oil source there. So I should be able to set up an oil rig here. It won't have a load of underground stuff, unless maybe, I suppose I could build it here. Underwater, I meant, not underground. Because I've been looking at loads of pictures of oil rigs, and you've got to have big struts underground, haven't you? I can't just fucking build it on this shallow bit, that'd be rubbish. So yeah, maybe I'll build it on the slightly deeper bit, just so it can look nice. And then have the pipes going out sideways to the pump jacks. The pump jacks do need to be on these bits, but I can think of a way to design that nicely. And then it's a J for JourneyMap. We can see how far away things actually are. There's the compound. So I kind of want here, it'd be quite cool to have it all in a rig, but it might be kind of just on shore. Basically a processing plant that's just only creating diesel and nothing else, and all the byproducts thereof will just get burnt, and only the diesel will be sent back through a big pipeline to go back here. And then maybe I can use that for something else. I haven't really thought about that yet. I just wanted to build an oil rig. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. That's all for now. But yeah, the big thing really is just this thing here. There's probably other things I've forgotten. That's life. I'm not sure if or when I'll get back to all of this. Oh, I've been looking up industrial foregoing, is it called? Just because, let's see, was it industrial foregoing, which is like the Mine Factory Reloaded successor. Just because there was things in that mod that I really liked that I never got round to, like a big cow production line, and then just have a like big vat of milk and cow juice and stuff, which just for fun basically. So I might do that at some point. I'll look at installing that and doing that. But I'll try and start out the oil rig first, maybe this too. I don't know. There's never really much of a plan for any of this stuff, as you can probably tell from the horribly disjointed way in which this video has been presented. So thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one. Bye.